Welcome back to Emily A to Z. I'm Emily, and this is the beginning of another TBR Tackle. Only I'm not starting off with books. I'm in my kitchen because I'm making dinner. But I had a birthday present that I wanted to share. I believe it's from my lovely sister, and I am excited for it. Look, it came with a sticker. She asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I was like, basically anything cozy. Coffee, books, wine, snacks, delicious treats, whatever. She sent me Bones Coffee Co. Now I've heard of this, but I've never had it. And she sent me like a box. There's more in here than I was expecting. We have Cookies and Dreams, small batch, medium roast. We buy coffee from Rainforest Alliance certified farms, helping protect the environment and farming communities. Cookies and Dreams. We have S'more Time. Isn't that? This is a medium roast. We have Holy Cannoli, also medium roast. It does say squeeze and sniff. Wow. Smells like coffee to me. We have French toast. And then the last one is Jamaican Me Crazy, which is, again, medium roast. And then it just came with it, like, where you can find our coffee. But, like, five bags. Oh, it smells so good. Of coffee for me, for my birthday. What a great gift. So I'm very excited. I need to say thank you to her. This is gonna go on my Stitchy cart. Anytime we get stickers, they go there. So that's it. I have a clip of me doing videos next. I promise. I have updates. Look, number one is I was trying to film a Stitch with me just now, and I gave up. I'm gonna be completely candid. I'm gonna be a little sassy right now because I am on my period. And I also just feel like shit. I feel like I got slammed into a brick wall. So you know what? It's fine. I am not gonna beat myself up. I am going with it. I came home, I changed my clothes. Screw it. I'm gonna relax. I got some time now to kill before I have to go get my Caden from school and sports later tonight. I'll do my Stitch with me. I'll get it ready to go. You know, I'll pre-film. And then I got frustrated as hell trying to my tripod didn't want to, I couldn't get my phone stand, tripod, phone stand, camera stand, whatever. Couldn't get it to work properly. It kept so I started to film and it just slowly started tipping. So something's not locking into place and it just keeps sliding. And I don't really want to get a new one, but I might have to. And then, that video, okay, fine, whatever, that footage wasn't usable. I'll just try again. Couldn't get it to position right where I could still manage the footage and stitch. And it was just, I got really frustrated, and then I realized that I had been looking at my pattern upside down, and so I stitched part of it wrong, and I was done. I was over it. Whatever, I deleted the footage. It's now gone. I'm not gonna frog. I'm not frogging those stitches. It's white. I'm gonna just stitch over it with the color. I gotta stitch over it in black anyways. I don't care. It'll be fine. It's a couple stitches out of place. It's not worth pulling out. I've already said I hate stitching with white thread. I'm not doing it. Fuck it. But now I'm just sassy now, and I'm done. I'm over it. Ugh. So you know what? I got myself a nice little sweet drink that has an energy drink in it that I don't need, but who cares? I'm off tomorrow. All that's on my calendar is to get a haircut and maybe pick up groceries. Because we're also apparently getting a snowstorm tomorrow. Whatever. I don't know. Lay down, buddy. I got updates. Let's just talk updates. I already talked about this. I shouldn't have done that. I feel bad. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that, Gunwoo. You gave me the ick, but that doesn't mean I should toss you. This. Here we go. Bathhouse by PJ Vernon. I have finished this. I finished this in a matter of days. It is really helpful now. I definitely have to make sure I have audiobooks because my son now has games certain days of the week. But I get overstimulated in crowds. There's too many people. There's too much noise. It's just too much for me. I will be completely honest. I don't really understand basketball, and it's at like a junior league. So like they're not like official games or whatever. And I would share, like I've taken photos and videos for a family. I would share some of that, but I'm not comfortable since it does have his like school information. I'm not going to be sharing that, but just know that he's pretty stinking cute in his little like jersey and his uniform, and he takes it very seriously, and I'm very proud of him. I still get very overwhelmed and overstimulated at his games. So, and my husband was like, you can't take a physical book. That's not okay. Like, you need to at least like watch. And I was like, fine. So we compromised. I bring my noise canceling earbuds and I listen to an audiobook while I watch the game. I still have no clue what's happening, but at least I can listen to an audiobook and turn the noise canceling feature on. And that helps so much. Plus my husband is great about that, and he knows and is encouraging. I think he also likes it because it means I'm not as chatty because I'm busy. Perk for him. I'm like spitting. I'm so sorry. I am just, my hair's real floofy. I'm sassy. I'm tired. Drink break. I didn't even tell you what my drink was. Dear God. This is from my local coffee shop. They also do energy drinks, and I very occasionally will get one. I don't all the time because they're made with Monster, and I don't drink energy drinks because that is just too much for me. I am already insane. Okay, I am already ridiculous. This is too much. Just too much to have all the time. So I don't. I drink my coffee, and I'm good with coffee. But on occasion, I get a sweet little treat that is this drink. And they use like flavors. They're called Alien Energy. That's what they call them. They're called Alien Energy. But they have like flavorings, and then it's mixed with Monster. Or you could choose to have it made with Sprite or lemonade. I've done that. They are just as good. Not today. Today was a Monster day. This is called Heartbeat. And it's black cherry, strawberry, and Monster. It's delicious. I really, really like it. The black cherry is very heavy in this, but so I would say you would have to like cherry. I love cherry flavored drinks, so this is fine. This is perfect for me. Okay, let's go back to what we were doing. I swear, I love books. Just this clip alone, you would think I hate them based on I am roughhousing all of the books. They're not even mine. These are library books. I work at a library. Holy, get it together, girl. This is real. I'm not editing any of that out. You get to see what it's like to be in my brain sometimes. Bathhouse, PJ Vernon. Did I say what this is about? Hell if I know. Let's see. Oliver Park. Oliver Park, a recovering addict from Indiana, that's where I'm from originally, finally has everything he ever wanted: sobriety and a loving partner in Dr. Nathan Klein, a prominent Washington, D.C. trauma surgeon. Despite their difference in age and their disparate backgrounds, they built an enviable life together. They make the picture-perfect couple. With everything to lose, Oliver shouldn't be visiting House, a gay bathhouse. But through the entrance he goes, and it's a line crossed. Inside, he follows a man into a private room, crossing the final line. Whatever happens next, Nathan can never know. In the seductive anonymity of that room, Oliver's encounter goes terrifyingly wrong, and he barely escapes with his life. Racing home in full-blown terror, as the hand-shaped bruise grows dark on his neck, Oliver knows the truth will destroy Nathan and their life together. So Oliver does the thing he used to do so well: he lies. What follows is a classic runaway train narrative. Yes, okay. So I listened to this as an audiobook. It had dual narrators. Each of the chapters are split between Oliver's perspective or Nathan's perspective, and they have a corresponding narrator, and I love that. This was the choice for the Read with Pride book club through my local library. It is written by a queer author, which I love too. Like, excellent. So Oliver is tense. Oliver is a young man, and there is like a bit of an age gap between him and Nathan. Oliver had a troubled past. He was doing drugs. He was addicted to drugs. He got clean and sober. Dr. Nathan here found him whilst he was like fresh out recovery kind of thing. And they started a relationship together. And it is a very interesting dynamic between like power imbalances within relationships and how we can get stuck in the lies we tell ourselves or the stories we tell ourselves. They don't necessarily have to be lies, but we get stuck, right? We can get stuck in the stories we tell ourselves. And Nathan does that too. Nathan and Oliver both do that. They get stuck. They're stuck in a very specific narrative for how they both feel their relationship should be and what it is and what it actually is and what it is not. So there is that dynamic there of what do they want and what do they not want. Oliver feels trapped. Oliver feels stuck. He feels like he is being controlled, that he has to be this picture perfect young man because Nathan saved his life basically and has given him everything he never had. And Nathan doesn't feel stuck, but Nathan has a very set belief for what their life is together and what it's going to be. And God damn it, it's going to be that way. And so they butt heads, but they won't actually talk about it. He goes to this bathhouse knowing he shouldn't do it, that if Nathan ever finds out their relationship he's like, it's over. So Nathan can't find out. He gets attacked. He gets strangled. So then Nathan's like, what happened to you? And that's what starts this chain reaction where he lies. Oliver lies to him, says, I was mugged. And like, so he goes to the police. He files a real police report by himself. Nathan then takes him, and then he files a second police report that is this fabricated story of being mugged. And it's just, he's lied, and now he has to keep lying in order to maintain his relationship, or what he perceives, like this is what he thinks he has to do in order to just like get through this. It is very intense. There are lots of conversations here about abuse and addiction and abuse within relationships, and like I've already said, but power dynamics within relationships. I figured out the general gist of it pretty early on. I had a very strong idea of what was going on. And I will say though, there is a red herring at like the climax of this that got me. It really did. I had a like moment, like listening to this, the red herring, like climactic part thing happens where you're expecting one reveal and you do get a reveal, but I was like, oh, and then was like, wait a minute. And then very quickly it was like, okay, I did like that. I liked that there was like a reveal that was not actually the reveal. It was just this red herring. And then there was that secondary reveal that was the truth. But I was like, that was clever. But I still figured out what was going on. Trigger warnings, obviously, for attempted murder, actual murder, strangulation, domestic abuse, physical abuse, physical violence, emotional abuse. I think I said drug addiction. There is some sexual content. It's very minor, considering he goes to a bathhouse to have sex with someone else. There's really not a lot of sex in this book. It's mainly psychological. Like there's some psychological abuse, but it's all about what they were thinking and what was going on. I would say this is like a mid-paced book. It's not slow, but it's definitely not fast. And I give this a solid 3.5. This is a solid 3.5. I gave it would have just been a 3, but that red herring there that got me, gave it a half. It's not a 4. Like, I will very quickly forget this in a few months. Not gonna sugarcoat it. What else? Do I have it up here? I do. Okay. Forgotten Bones. Reading on my Kindle. On my tablet. It's not a full Kindle, it's a tablet that has Kindle on it. I do really like this cover. It speaks to me. It says, this is a scary book. This says A Dead Remaining Thriller. That is the name of the series. This is book 1. I think it's a duology. No, it's a trilogy. I was about to say a trilogy. It's a trilogy. I don't know if I will continue yet. I am now about halfway through. And so we are following a detective, and she's a young woman. She's in this we're in this small town in California, and it's a very small police department. She gets called to the scene of a car accident, whatever, and they uncover the body of a dead child that turns out to be dead from like the 60s. And so now she's uncovered this cold case, but they don't know who the kid is. They have no information about him. They are tentatively linking this child to a recently paroled sex offender who has disappeared. So because they found the body on like the edge of his property, and even though he got released from jail, he's gone in the wind. Like, so they're linking them because of the property and the fact that he's gone. Like, he has skedaddled out of town, so they think maybe he's guilty, whatever. But so they're doing some searches, and then the case like explodes because, you know, they're searching they've like got warrants for him, and they start to like search his ground, and they've uncovered a lot more bodies. And some family secrets have come up about his whole family and his childhood, and it's deeper than they thought originally, kind of thing. At the same time, we are getting the story perspective. We're getting some chapters from Dr. Eric Evans, and he is a geologist. I love that. He is a professor of geology, and he is originally from the East Coast, but he has moved all the way out to California because he found out that his wife was having an affair with his brother and is now pregnant with his brother's child. And so he was like, I'm out, divorced his wife, and is like trying to start over in California. He is also schizophrenic, but I am not schizophrenic, so I can't say for certain that it is good mental health rep for this particular disorder, but I think it's trying to do good. I think the author is trying to paint this not as some big scary thing. He's not our bad guy. So far, they're still not linked. Like, the stories haven't connected yet. Like, we're following Susan separately from Dr. Evans. And is he a doctor? I don't know. He is now. Their storylines are still separate. But we're following him, and we're getting some perspectives, and he does talk about his schizophrenia, but he does share, like, it's managed, you know, it's not like what you see in movies, it's not like what you see in films, it is completely different. I do know if I'm about to have an episode, though. I can feel it, I can tell in my body, there are certain signs and symptoms and things like that, but we're just kind of getting his perspective of him trying to, like, start over, and he is very raw, he's very emotional, he's very angry. And I think that's valid. Like, he has legitimate reasons to be pissed. And I think what we're going to end up getting, there might be a little bit of a supernatural thing. I don't yet know how they're going to link up, but it says, like, in the summary, like in the synopsis, like that he gets called in to, like, consult on this case. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to happen yet. All I know is he's a geologist, so maybe they need him to come look at the dirt. I don't know, some rocks. We haven't gotten there yet. I'm about halfway through, and we haven't yet got to the point where they actually need to involve him in the case. All that's happened is that the case has gotten huge. The FBI have been called in because now there's like 17 dead bodies, and like, it's this big case, and he's angry and mad and is trying to, like, start his life. But he also thinks he might be having a bit of an episode because he has started to what he thinks hallucinate. He thinks he's starting to hallucinate a dead boy that is in overalls, which coincidentally is what they are referring to the original dead body of the kid they found there. They call him Overalls Boy. So I'm sure it's gonna connect, it's gonna become linked. So he thinks he's having a schizophrenic hallucination, but I think it's supposed to actually be a supernatural kind of ghosty thing situation. We'll find out. I kind of like a little supernatural. I'm really liking it so far. I like that they have the separate storylines. I like that we have a strong, angry man that is angry and sad, and like he's not afraid to feel his emotions, and he's not getting overly like, I'm feeling my emotions because I'm a real man, or like I shouldn't be feeling my emotions because I'm a man. Like they're not doing that trope. Like he's just existing in his state of grief, and I like that. Like it feels genuine. And then our cop she's not bumbling, she's not an idiot, but she's also not reckless. She may be young, but like she knows what she wants and she's driven, but she's not out here breaking all the rules like we do get in certain police thrillers. So I like that too. I am about halfway through Gone Girl, and heck if I know what is going on. It still feels slow. I'm assuming there's other parts. I know that it said part 1 at the beginning. I'm still in part 1. But we're getting perspectives. We're getting chapters from Nick that are set like in present day, and then we're getting chapters that are Amy's diary entries, and it starts in the past from like when she and Nick first met up until, I'm assuming they'll go to the present. I don't actually know. I just find it kind of slow. I think I had mentioned I'm a little bored when I read some of those chapters. Like I can read it for a bit and then it's like I almost need to take like a day off just because it feels tedious at times. Like it feels like when we are in Nick's chapters that we are experiencing every single minute of his day. And I do think that that is intentional. I think Gillian Flynn is intentionally making it feel heavy and making it feel like we're moving through molasses or that time isn't moving. Because for Nick, that's kind of accurate, right? Like he wakes up on the day of his wedding anniversary, goes to work, and then finds out that his wife is missing and there are signs of a struggle. And he's like, what? And then the police get called, and now we're being questioned by the police, and he's in his head and he's like, I gotta play the role of the grieving husband. But then he tells us that he's been lying, and so we can't quite trust him. But we're getting these diary entries of Amy, and she seems to be like this sweet woman who is very doting on her husband and just wants to be like the best wife, girlfriend, whatever she can be. I will also say it's very, it is much more misogynistic than I was expecting from both Nick and Amy. There are whole like chapters and passages where they are just being so shitty to women in general, to just that they're putting women down and like referring to women as having like dancing monkey husbands and like all this kind of stuff. And I don't like that. Amy does a lot of like, I'm not trying, it's not that I think I'm better than all the other girls, but like, I'm not like other girls, and it's off-putting. I don't like it. We'll see. That's all I really have for there. Just that she's missing and he's trying to find her, and the police are searching for her, and they keep kind of questioning for him, and like little things are being revealed slowly. So I am reading it slowly, and that's okay. I think I kind of need to do that with this book to take it all in. What else? The Dangerous Convenience Store, Volume 3 came in. Again, I am taking no comments, questions, concerns. I am taking no criticism about me reading this series. Okay? Cool. I don't know when I'll get to it. I said that about that one too, and then I read it like 3 days later. And then lastly, because I finished Bathhouse, I took a day off of audiobooks because I was waiting for some of my holds to come in. I have a couple holds that are, like, I put my romance audiobook on hold, A Dash of Salt and Pepper. I put that on hold so I can listen to it. It's not quite ready. I should have it very soon. I'm like the next in line for a copy. And I expect it will be available like ASAP, but I was like, maybe I'll give it a day and see if it comes. And it did come. I have the CDs of The Picture of Dorian Gray. And I was gonna start that, but then I pulled out the first disc and it's like really scratched up. And I would bring it into my work and have them clean it, except for that it's not mine. I don't own this and it belongs to a different library system. So than the one I work for. So I was like, can't do that. So I guess I'm gonna have to like return this with a note that says, hey, like all of your discs are really scratched. So instead I started looking through, and I have a notebook at my desk at my job, because again, I work with books, where I write down, if a title really catches my attention, I will write it down on like in my notebook of something to come back to. And I have done this since I started my job several years ago. So I pulled that book back out and I was like, okay, let's go back to the very front and see some of these are like the oldest titles that I've written down of things that I want to read. So I went through the list and was like, which ones have audiobooks that are available? And this one was available. This is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. I have heard a lot about this, and I bet you have too. The audiobook was available, so I grabbed the audiobook. This is following Lillian and Madison, who were roommates for a year at this like girls preparatory high-end like boarding school basically. And they formed like a really tight connection, and even though their paths went separate ways, they've maintained contact. Madison was born from money, like was made to be in money kind of thing, born and bred and raised, and has gone off and has now become the wife of a senator. Lillian has stayed back in her hometown and is at like a dead end job, doing nothing, has no real prospects for her future, and is stuck at home still with her mom. And one day Madison asks her to come out to visit because she has a potential job opportunity. This takes place in Tennessee. And the audiobook narrator has very delectable Southern accents that are not corny. They are very nicely done. But she brings her out here and sets her down and says, hey, here's the deal. My husband has 2 twins from a previous marriage. We would like you to be like their governess. They're a live-in nanny, if you will. We would like you to come in, move in with us, and take care of these kids. I know you know nothing about child rearing, but I would like you to do this. And she's like, okay, sure, whatever. Here's the catch. Whenever the children become agitated, they spontaneously combust. What? So that is the whole point of this novel. I got nothing else for you. So the chapters are really long, so I'm kind of glad I'm listening to it as an audiobook. I'm like 2 hours in and I'm just at chapter 2 kind of thing. But I do really like it so far. I am very intrigued by this concept, and we haven't met the kids yet. We are where I left off today. We are just about to meet the kids. But I already have a quote that I really, really like that I'm going to share with you. So we are in Lillian's perspective, and she is at Madison's house, and that's all you need to know, that she's at Madison's house. And it says, I hadn't brought anything with me. I knew that if I asked, a hairbrush would appear, a toothbrush, and 4 different kinds of toothpaste, but I tried to pretend I was self-sufficient. A lot of times when I think I'm being self-sufficient, I'm really just learning to live without the things that I need. And that sucker punched me in the gut so hard, because that's how I am. And I felt like that hit the nail on the head. I just understood what she was trying to say. We can pretend we're being self-sufficient, but really we're just training ourselves to go without the stuff that we want or need. And that spoke a lot to me. What is happening in this book? What is going on? I'm about halfway. I don't even know if you can hear me because it's loud in here because sports practice. There's a game on behind me. I'll just hold this up. Okay, so I'm about halfway through this book and I'm really, really confused because who's unreliable? We are getting chapters that it's like omniscient third person for Nick as he's doing stuff, right? And he is openly admitted that he has lied to the police, that there are things happening that he is not being honest about when it comes to Amy's disappearance. And then we get Amy's diary entries, and there are times when her diary entries paint another picture of Nick, but I'm starting to wonder if her diary entries are staged and if she is also an unreliable narrator, and that all of these diary entries are for like this mysterious like police investigators benefit. Like she is trying to craft a very specific narrative about her life and her husband. For what is she trying to gain out of this? But I'm questioning who to believe. Do I believe Nick or do I believe Amy? And it feels complicated. It feels very convoluted. I'm starting to see why people really like this. I was kind of bored up until this point. It's definitely like we're getting into it now where I'm like, wait a minute, there are some things that are not lining up. What is happening? I'm not as bored. The pace is so hella slow. That's what's killing me, but I'm in it. I'm gonna keep reading. We still have about half an hour of practice left. Let's keep going. Update time, and this will be probably the last clip of the vlog. Probably. I think I have to end it here because it is Thursday. Okay, so I have finished 2 books. Probably not the ones you're thinking. Number 1 though, I have finished Forgotten Bones by Vivian Bartz. I'm giving this a 4. There are 2 more books in the series. I'm gonna hold it up. There are 2 more books. I don't know if I'm going to read them because the way this ended was like perfect. It doesn't feel like anything was left out. It doesn't feel incomplete. It didn't even necessarily feel like they were leaving space for the next book in a series. Like this, you could read this and it would be fine on its own. You could leave this as a standalone. And I really, really enjoyed that. It did feel as if from like 50% on, the pace just like picked up. It seemed like it was kind of mid to slow at the first half, and then it went like skyrocketing. I had shared that we hit halfway and our professor hadn't even like connected with the detectives yet. And then they did, and then everything just blew out of the water. It was like we were halfway in and their storylines didn't match up, and then all of a sudden they did, and then it was just full throttle. That's what I was looking for. I did call the like whodunit aspect. I figured that out very quickly. There's not any like red herring, like we're trying to trip you up. It is very straightforward, which I guess I appreciate. It's a little frustrating when you're in the perspective of the detectives because they're stuck on one track versus when we're in like the professors, should I say the police officers, whatever, police stuck on one track, right? They're really dead set on it being this like child predator guy. When you're in our professor's mindset, we're getting a completely different like perspective, and it is very straightforward as to like who the bad guy is. And it's like, okay, figure it out, put the pieces together. And then when they do put the pieces together, It's a little weird, it's a little contrived, but it's fine. I really like the dynamic between Susan and Eric. I like that a lot. I liked their cute little story, their like budding romance that potentially could happen in the future. I enjoyed that a lot. But yes, I knew what was going on. I figured out the whodunit. I even figured out the like twist part, you know, of like the big secret, or like how other things were kind of connected. Which is why, like, it's not a 5, it's not a blow your socks off thriller. It's not really even, to me, like, groundbreaking. It doesn't do anything new in the genre. We have some aspects of like paranormal, supernatural, whatever, but like, it's a good thriller. It's a solid 4. I would recommend it, as long as you don't mind a little supernatural elements in it, a little spooky, and obviously heavy trigger warnings for like child abuse, child sexual abuse, child death, child murder, suffocation, strangulation, like all of that. And there is some definitely body horror elements and some animal cruelty. Very brief, but still, that is part of the story. So tread carefully. There were times when this became a little triggery for me. Know yourself, know your triggers. Just take some breaks, breathe when you need to. But overall, a 4, and I would generally recommend this. The other book I finished, The Miserable Mill by Lemony Snicket. This is book 4 in a series of unfortunate events. We are following the Baudelaires, however you want to say it, as they have been shipped off to the Lucky Smells lumber mill, where they are under the charge of their newest guardian, known only as Sir, because he supposedly has a name that is horribly difficult to pronounce. There, we are dealing with yet again another scheme of Count Olaf, him trying to get his hands on the children and their fortune, and they figure out how to outsmart him and survive. Again, we are still dealing with some slurs that I struggle with. He does use derogatory terms for little people in this book quite freely. This has been in every single book, and I don't like it. There is also a racial slur against the Roma people. I've already kind of talked about this. I don't like that either. And I hate the whole, it was a product of its times. Like, I don't care. I don't use that as an excuse. It's not cool. What else? Attempted murder, actual murder. Standard Lemony Snicket. So, yes, I read this last night. I just realized on the cover here, Klaus's eyes, like his pupils are massive. But read this last night. It took me about 2.5 hours, 2 hours, I don't know. They're quick reads. I gave this a 3. I'd have to ask Caden what he gave it. I don't remember, but I gave this a 3. This is actually the March book for Magical Stitches, but I needed to read it ahead of time so I could plan and be creative, come up with prompts. Those are the 2 books I finished. Now, I have made some progress on Gone Girl. I am now about 75% of the way through. I would love to finish this today. I don't think that's going to happen, but I would love to finish this today. We will see. So the clip you just saw of me reading this at sports practice has me cracking up because literally I went home, read it a little bit more, and finished part 1. So if you've read the book, you know. If you've seen the movie, I think you also kind of know what's going on. But I had said in that clip, literally, I was like, I don't know who to trust. I was right, goddammit. I love that I can look at this now as like future me reviewing past me and being like, you're on the right track. You are on the right track. That is so like validating for me to be like, I knew it. And you got to see that happen in real time of like me processing this book too. So, I have got through part 1. We are now in part 2, where we are kind of still getting these separate storylines, right? We're seeing some post-disappearance things are happening, and now we're trying to figure out who's framing who and what is happening. Is there a framing happening? Is Nick being framed? If so, how, why, all of that. So, that's that. But I'm gonna end this TBR tackle here because, like I said, I want to finish this today, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. We'll see. But, thank you so much for being here. I will see you all next week for another episode of TBR Tackle. Be easy with your hearts.